Hi Dawson. Okay, these are my feedback tips here for you. I love seeing these broken strokes. Add more of these in. As you're doing them, I'm seeing great polishing of the seat, the polish the wall kind of drill. I wanted to freeze frame here because as you go into your regular paddling, I want you to look at your paddle at vertical. So here it is at vertical. What exactly are we wanting our hips to do on the seat at this point? You're wanting the stroke to be done, and by stroke I mean your hips, your hip movement and your footboard action. But as you saw in that freeze frame, your paddle was at vertical, and only then had you started to do that movement. So still, I like to call it the sooner movement, doing it as sooner than the last time. And it will always feel super exaggerated, but that's because when you go back in your boat, it's going to go back to kind of an area of comfort. So exaggerate everything as much as you possibly can. I like to see that your quads and your hamstrings are really engaged here, as well as your calves, and it looks like you're really focusing on that overlapping pressure on the footboard. So a lot better lower body movement than we've seen in the past, but just sooner legs. Break down, do more of those broken up strokes. Okay, so here's your frontal view. Loved this. Great job with these broken strokes again. Slowing it down now, and I just want you to think, am I getting taller at the back of my stroke, at the end of my stroke? Should I be getting in that proud position? And if I'm not, it's because I'm not finding extra rotation. I'm trying to rush through that stroke. So I've slowed it down even more here so you can kind of test yourself. Did I get taller? Because as soon as you start to shrink at the end of the stroke, it means you're already transferring your weight back onto the other side. It takes practice. So a couple of other indicators, knee over knee, really thinking about polishing that seat. Okay, and then we're going to move into the next little bit, and I think I'm going to freeze frame it in a second here. There we go. Taking a look at that top hand, very high top hand. And that is typically an indicator of, again, very simple thing, your weight is starting to transfer to the other side. So I just want you to think about connecting that top shoulder with that lower leg and pushing down with our top shoulder. So another indicator is, we get taller. Yes, our chest gets bigger, our head comes up, but if our shoulders are coming up, it means we're bringing the weight back into the boat a little bit too prematurely. So shoulder down is sort of the diagnosis, but then I challenge you to figure out, well, what can I do with my lower body and my feet that will make the shoulder actually go down and not just force it down by will. But overall, a much bigger improvement. I'm really seeing the Kiker High Five forearm to the finish. I encourage you to write down kind of what we did the other day, a whole schwack of drills, and then try and see if you can connect them to the different symptoms that I'm talking about as things that you can use to work on. So if you hear somebody say your top hand's coming too high, or as I said, you're smaller at the end of the stroke, think of different lower body exercises that you can do on the erg that would change that. So yeah, see, you're not shrinking at the end of the stroke here, but you're definitely not growing. So how can we now grow at the end of the stroke so that we're nice and tall? But overall, really nice improvement. Great job.